yeah, it could happen to anyone. You don't know. You hope it doesn't happen to you. You hope it doesn't happen to any member of your family. You hope it doesn't happen to your friends, but what is there that we can do to prevent this? What is there to do to prevent being in the wrong place at the wrong time? But you don't want to live in fear. You want to go about your normal life, but after this incident, it's in the back of your head that this happened and this could happen again, and you hope that it doesn't.
On July 22nd, 2018 at approximately 10 p.m., a gunman opened fire on an unsuspecting community along Danforth Avenue in Toronto. The first shots were fired on Danforth and Logan. The gunman opened fire and walked further down the street and started targeting restaurants at random. Shots were reported to be fired in Dimitri's Cafe, Second Cup, and 7 Numbers Restaurant, where he engaged the police and eventually lost his life.
My name's Sasha. I've lived just south of the Danforth for my entire life. I was born and raised in this neighborhood. Growing up, it was really kind of like a small community-based neighborhood. Everyone knew each other up and down the street. Like, that's where I made all my friends. Very friendly neighborhood. The kind of neighborhood where if you're baking and you run out of eggs, you ask the neighbor. Then you bring them some later and they do the same to you. As kids, me and my friends would just run around the neighborhood. We didn't feel fear. We could roam around back alleys and we didn't feel that we were in danger. We could go up to the Danforth by ourselves like we were 10 years old, but we weren't concerned about anything bad happening to us because it was a safe community. We could just go out, get a hot chocolate, go to the park, pick some flowers, just do normal kid stuff without any worries. At the time of the shooting, I was just at home. It was in the evening, and I didn't know what was happening. I wasn't watching the news or anything like that. And my mom calls me up, and I pick up the phone, and she sounded really anxious. And I'm like, Mom, what's wrong? What's going on? And she's like, oh, there was just a mass shooting on the Danforth, and I wanted to make sure you were okay. And at that moment, I was thinking, is this a joke? This doesn't happen here. This is Toronto. This is not like Las Vegas. What is going on? I visited a lot of the places. It happened right at Logan and Danforth, and when I was in middle school, I used to go to the Tim Hortons there with my friends after school, and the TD Bank is where I would take my grandfather to do his banking. And right next to that is the fruit market where I would go with my parents to shop for fruit and vegetables. It's crazy that something like that would happen in our small neighborhood. It's outrageous.
Tanya Wilson, a local business owner who owns a tattoo shop, took action during the carnage, turning her shop into a makeshift field hospital where she sheltered wounded victims until the paramedics arrived.
Tattooing hasn't always been a passion of mine, per se, but art most definitely. Ever since I was a kid, as soon as I could pick up a pencil, I was drawing and trying to recreate anything that I seen. My background, my family history and stuff wasn't the greatest, so it was kind of my personal escape, I guess. I felt like it was the one thing that I was able to do well, and once I grew up and I knew about tattooing and I knew I could put my art to life and channel it in something better to kind of help people feel beautiful or help them deal with their past situations or things that they went through. it felt good. It felt good to give people something that they were happy about and proud of. When I first opened, nobody really liked us in the neighborhood. I guess the stigma of tattoo studios and bikers or criminals or something like that, whatever they think. Nobody was really a fan until everything kind of happened a few months ago, and that all changed now. We were shut down for 2 months. I think just over 2 months. Well, a month for cleaning, and then I had all of my staff actually leave because my doors were closed for so long. And since we've opened, it's been great feedback from the community. We've had a lot of support and positive outcome, even though it was such a tragic thing that happened. But I was quite upset because I was going through stuff prior to the incident, and I just couldn't believe that. I don't even want to say this kind of, but like, I just felt like it would be my luck for it to happen here. But I'm glad that it did happen because I'd heard some things after, and I know that not everybody reacted the same way. So I am grateful that I was there to help. It all kind of happened so fast. It was overwhelming. I was just more concerned about like making sure that they were okay. I think I didn't really think about myself, or I didn't really have any feelings, I don't think, until maybe after. After everything had happened, it made me extremely, extremely uncomfortable with all of the attention that I was getting. I didn't think it was fair, and I didn't think that I deserved it. I didn't experience what everybody else experienced outside. Even though I literally was not even a minute, I was outside and I came back in, and that's when it happened. So I'm very grateful that it didn't happen to me. I think everybody needs to kind of stop focusing on what they think everybody will think of them or whatever. If you get a bad feeling, or if you see something that's wrong, like, you should act on it, because you need to kind of put yourself in the other person's shoes or whatever it may be, and you could save that person's life, or you could really like change that situation for a positive instead of a negative. And I think that everybody kind of just hesitates if something happens and nobody really takes action.
So we faced a terrible tragedy in the neighborhood, and it's brought sadness to so many people, and as a result has brought more awareness to the issue of gun violence that we're facing in the city. And despite this issue being prevalent in Toronto, the Danforth is still strong.